Hi, I'm Travis, and first, I want to start talking about our equestrian subculture of the Middle Age of in Korea. Um, of course, our ancestor using horse lots of different purpose, practical working purpose, transportations, delivering the mail, or leisure activities, and artistic way in their life. And 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 I remember the documentary that they are showing us a prehistorical tombs mural. It's like a lots of drawing on the cave wall, and the picture actually show us several horse rider and a horse, and the rider of course holding the long wooden stick and to hit the ball. And this picture seems like very similar to Western style of the polo games, and and those games are still exist and today, and like the Olympic games and lots of the horse riding club. and and I kind of have a negative perspective of the horse riding club because those group members are organize themselves, group themselves as lots of social rank and social class, certain kind of social level of their standard. So if you wanted to join a club, you have to prove yourself. You have to enough qualify, and such as uh, your richness is one kind of factor. So so yeah, this is it. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Shadi Naimi. Um, I have been riding horses since I was 9 years old, and I've been super heavily involved in the industry, so much so that it's kind of just been my world since before I can remember. And so I have a very heavy bias because it's really hard for me to see outside of the box. Um, so for me personally, it'd be really interesting to work with my project mates that have never really been in the industry to see how everything works and how people are influenced by horses. And a lot of my mannerisms and my morals have been brought about because of horses. I've learned a lot from them. They teach you a lot on being humble and being respectful and being genuine. It's really hard to be fake on a horse's back because, like for instance, when I'm teaching lessons, it's really easy for me to tell what riders are thinking and feeling because the horse will reflect that. And so it's all about learning who you are and gaining your confidence, and they've really helped me learn a lot about myself since I started riding.
Hi, my name is Charles, and I really don't know anything about equestrian or equestrian society. Um, it's almost like a secret society to me because I've never really dealt with horses. I grew up in San Francisco, and there aren't a lot of open spaces for ranches and open fields, so I've never really had that much experience with horses. All my experience and biases come from movies and Hollywood. I just remember watching Seabiscuit and thinking maybe that's somehow related to equestrian society. I think it might be an Olympic sport, maybe. So I really don't have any biases toward it. Well, I do have one bias. I do think they're kind of rich because it takes a lot of money to have your own open field, your own ranch, and to really own a horse. So I think they're going to be a well-off group.
Hello, my name is Owen. I grew up in northern New Jersey where we really didn't have much of a presence of horses other than in northern New York where I spent some summers with my aunt and uncle where they had a sort of a horse farm, if you will. They just kind of raised horses and took in race horses. But other than that, I really don't have any biases or anything like that. As far as morally, I really don't have any issues with it because you're not hurting anyone, you're not offending anyone, and you know, the horses are well taken care of. So there's really no problem with it for me.
say that they play many roles in my life. They are a source of income. Work is a source of pride and pleasure too. I enjoy what I do. I just enjoy the atmosphere of working with animals, and believe also that horses play a fundamental role in people's lives who ride them, because it helps de-stress them. Particularly, we have a lot of professional people who come to horses, women in particular, who come into this sport for recreation, and so it gets them away from their stressful professional lives and gives them an opportunity to relax and just enjoy life a little bit. I get to play a part in that. Take their money. Well, I would say that the culture, if I'm using the right word, is probably, this particular culture is about 90% female.
Oh, 90%.
So the 10% male is the minority. So in that sense, I would think that the males would be better off doing what they're told than creating problems.
Here, I'm a working student, so I just get to ride horses and have fun. And then basically, yeah, it's a nice life. And then my business is actually in equestrian consignment clothing. So I figured out how to meld them both. A working student is basically, I do errands and favors around the barn. So I feed, I groom, I tack up other horses, and then I also help exercise the horses. In exchange, I get lessons. So I get to get better and also get to be around these horses. Oh yeah. Horse lingo is complicated. So anything that's on the horse that allows me to ride it is called tack. So this is a bridle, this is a saddle, this is a girth that helps me not fall off the horse. All of these things you have to put on the horse to then ride it. So that's called tacking it. Gosh, there's endless amounts. There's a lot of terms for when a horse is feeling very, like hasn't been out in a while. So sometimes you call a horse fresh. And it doesn't mean like they just slapped you across the face because they're being inappropriate. This is actually called a helmet.
Oh.
It makes total sense, huh? Yeah, I look like a big dumb mushroom. It's very different because in the US, it's not a popular sport for men as much, and for women from a very young age, it's kind of acceptable to be like a horse-loving girl, but very rarely will you find men at a young age here. A lot of the really competitive men are often from Europe or from elsewhere. So I think it's more of a tradition there. So both sexes will participate, but it's really fun to see men around the barn. That's also a really interesting question because it depends on the type of riding, I think. So the competitive English hunter-jumper, which is what I do. English means that there's no horn on the saddle. So if you see Western, it means like they have a horn and they do this. English is perceived as a very expensive, and it is a very expensive sport, so a lot of more wealthy people will be associated with it. Same with horse racing. But, I mean, here I am. I don't have the money to pay for lessons, but I figure out how to make it work. So you can absolutely be a part of the horse world without having millions to spend on a horse. And there's just a lot of different ways to go about it. Especially if you work hard, you can probably, hopefully, get to hang out with these horses all the time.